This week on the Hawkeye Sports Report, a champion is crowned. Iowa's Derek St. John stands on top of the podium in Des Moines. And the Iowa women's basketball team, their season comes to an end following their Big Ten leading sixth straight trip to the NCAA tournament. And it's football season. Well, spring football anyways. The Hawks have started spring practice, and we hear from the head Hawk coming up in the Hawkeye Sports Report. Welcome into another edition of the Hawkeye Sports Report. I'm Nick Dorman. The Iowa wrestling team did not have the weekend it had hoped for in Des Moines at the NCAA championships. The good news is 4 Hawks came back to Iowa City with All-American honors. At 174 pounds, Mike Evans finished 6th. He won his first 2 matches, dropped a quarterfinal match, and then picked up one more win in consolation action. At 184 pounds, Ethan Lofthouse had an up-and-down season that finished on the way up. Lofthouse is the 5th place finisher at 184. He also reached the quarterfinals before losing and then winning 2 of 3 wrestlebacks. Iowa's other 2 All-Americans were 2 finalists, Tony Ramos and Derek St. John. Matt Nelson has more from Des Moines.
Saturday night at the NCAA Wrestling Championships, time for the finals. 2 Hawkeyes fighting to stand atop the podium. 133 pounds, Iowa's Tony Ramos, 31-1 on the season. His only loss in the Big Ten Finals to Ohio State's unbeaten Logan Stieber. Mid-first, Stieber on the board, 2-0. Ramos down 5-1 in the second when he scores a takedown. Is it more than that? Iowa challenges for a near fall. But the original call is upheld. Time winding down, Stieber up 6-4 with riding time. Ramos can't tie it up and finishes as the national runner-up.
Did you get the back points?
It's not up to me. If I didn't get him, I still had to go out and wrestle. I still had to score points. I still gave up riding time. So there's some improvements got to make. Give him 2 quick takedowns right away. But the rest of the match, I felt like I wrestled hard. I felt like I wrestled every position. I was attacking. I was coming out on bottom, scoring points. So yeah, I'm upset, but I felt like I wrestled a hard match.
Iowa's second finalist, 157-pounder Derek St. John. He lost to Kyle Dakin last year's final. Saturday, a matchup with 34-1 Northwestern Wildcat Jason Welch. They have not met this year, but St. John owns a 5-0 record against Welch. Second period, Derek St. John rides out Welch, scoreless. In the third, Welch is called for locked hands, 1-0 St. John. Then St. John escapes, 2-0. Welch swings the momentum with the match's only takedown, 2-2, and St. John's minute of riding time evaporated. But with 35 seconds left, St. John escapes and fights off Welch for his first national title.
I mean, every match is different, but I guess this match meant the most, probably to both of us. Probably there's more emphasis on this match, more of an exclamation point to put on it. But, you know, I don't think it really changes the fact that we competed again. I mean, it's unbelievable, it's awesome. Something I've been working the last 4 years for, and finally got it. It's unbelievable, satisfying feeling, unbelievable.
Afterwards, St. John, a very popular man with the fans. Iowa finishes 4th in the team standings.
We're back in a moment where we recap a busy week of postseason men's and women's basketball action. But first, the Hawkeye Sports Report Player of the Week.
This week's Hawkeye Sports Report Player of the Week is the obvious choice. Now 3-time All-American junior Derek St. John ran through the National Wrestling Tournament unbeaten as the number 2 seed in the 157-pound bracket, winning the national championship by a 3-2 margin over top-seeded Jason Welch of Northwestern. Those two had not met this season, but St. John improved his career record against Welch to 6-0 with the win. Derek St. John, Iowa's 52nd national wrestling champion, and this week's Hawkeye Sports Report Player of the Week.
We have a certain way of doing things. You'll see it in the determination of our students, in the classroom and on our fields, in the collaboration among our faculty that lead to great innovation and change, in the vision of our writers, artists, and doctors, bringing the world to Iowa and Iowa to the world. It's the Hawkeye way.
Well, it's not often you get a chance to host the NCAA tournament on your home court, but that's exactly what the Iowa women's basketball team had on their hands this past week. Iowa earned the number 9 seed in the tournament and hosted Miami, Florida in the first round in front of nearly 7,000 fans. Sam Logic was on from the get-go in that game. The Hawkeye sophomore poured in 22 points and grabbed 11 rebounds to lead the way for the Hawks in a first-round win. The team's first, NCAA tournament win since 2010, and as you can see, it was quite the celebration in the locker room afterwards. Tuesday night, however, was a different story as Iowa ran into the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, a team that has appeared in the national championship each of the last 2 seasons. Iowa held tough through much of the first half, but a quick start to the second half by the Fighting Irish spelled doom and gloom for the Hawks as they fell 74-57, saying goodbye to a very talented senior class.
Tough to say goodbye to 3 really good seniors. Just a tremendous group of women, great leaders. That's probably the hardest thing about tonight. It's not really the losing, it's just that the season is over and that you don't ever get to coach them again, so that's kind of tough.
4 years have meant everything to me. I mean, basketball comes and goes, though. It's the people that you meet along the way that mean the most, and these girls are my best friends, and the coaches have just helped me become the person I am, and I can't thank anyone more than that.
It's meant the world to me. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else besides Iowa these last 4 years, and just playing with this group of girls, and even the ones in the past, and for these coaches and in front of these fans. I'm so glad that I stayed in my home state, and I'm just so proud that I was a Hawk.
It's crazy. Like I've said many times, I never thought I would be here, and now I just can't be any more grateful that I got to play as an Iowa Hawkeye, and we honestly do have the best fans in the world, and I can't tell them enough how much I've appreciated their support over this whole 4 years.
On the men's side of things, after 2 home wins in the first 2 rounds of the NIT, the Hawks traveled to Virginia Wednesday with a trip to the NIT Final Four in New York City on the line. Matt Nelson has more.
Iowa and Virginia. The Hawks have struggled on the road this year. Virginia has been great at home. Just seconds into the game, defense creates offense. Dev Marble with the steal and the lay-in. Then Iowa with some offensive rebounding. Adam Woodbury with the board off the miss, and then the pretty southpaw hook shot. Woody with 10 on the night. More of the defense-offense stuff. This time, Mike Gazelle with the swipe and the breakout for the layup. The outside shooting heating up. First, it's Zach McCabe from way out. He was in double-figure scoring with 10. And then it's Mike Gazelle from long range. More of Gazelle putting the ball on the floor, pulling up for the jumper. 7 on the evening for Gazelle in just 8 minutes of playing time. Then Marble on the run. He throws it down for 2. Iowa led this game by 3 at halftime. Second half, Marble hitting jumpers from all over the floor, as evidenced by this pair. Marble with the team-high 24 points on the night. And on the run, Anthony Clements to a wide-open Dev Marble. He hits again. And from the other side of the floor, Josh Oglesby dials it in. The final score, Iowa 75, Virginia 64, a big road win for the Hawkeyes, and they are on to the NIT semifinals in New York's Madison Square Garden, the most famous arena in the world, for a date with Maryland Tuesday.
A phenomenal crowd in here and a terrific team, a team that has protected their home court extremely well. So anything short of this kind of performance, we weren't going to win. We defended Harris. We pushed it. We wanted to play the game in the 70s if we could get it there. I thought Marble was spectacular, and Clemens, in the second half in particular, was really, really tremendous.
When we come back, a look at the NCAA Swimming and Diving Championships, and we'll also hear from the head coach, Kirk Ferentz, as spring football is officially underway. But first, here is this week's Play of the Week.
This week's Hawkeye Sports Report Play of the Week comes from the national runner-up at 133 pounds, Tony Ramos. Second-seeded Ramos scored pins in each of his first 2 matches, but how about this takedown of third-seeded Wisconsin Badger Tyler Graff? The move resulted in the 6-4 win in the second sudden victory period and advanced Ramos to the finals. Tony Ramos with this week's Hawkeye Sports Report Play of the Week.
Welcome back. You're watching the Hawkeye Sports Report. Whether it feels or looks like it outside, it is spring, and that means spring football has officially kicked off. The Hawkeyes began those drills Wednesday. Kirk Ferentz spoke with the media Wednesday about the preparation to rebound from last season.
You know, we're eager to get started here. I think we've really had a good off season. The players have worked hard, the staff's worked hard, and I think we've made some gains and taken some positive steps. And today is the start of the next phase, obviously, and one of the more important phases we have, spring practice. And basically we got 15 days here to see how the team develops, how it comes along, get a checkup on, just see what kind of progress we're making, see how we look different than we were in November, certainly. And I imagine there'll be a few questions about the quarterback position, most notably that being open. But really, it's springtime. It's that way everywhere you go. Every position's open right now. You would think some of the veteran guys, hopefully they've improved and they should be able to hold their ground and earn their positions back. But basically, all spots are open right now, and you've got a lot of different levels of competition going on.
The Hawks open spring practice is Saturday, April 27th in Kinnick Stadium. We've reached the part of the show where we look ahead at the week. We start with the NCAA Swimming and Diving Championships in Indianapolis, where 6 members of the Iowa men's team will compete.
It's pretty much just the same motto that we've had all season. Race to win, just keep racing, and water's water. That's probably Coach Long's favorite motto. But, these guys are really experienced swimmers, and even though they haven't been at this meet yet, they've swam at Olympic trials, they've swam at some pretty incredible meets, and there's not a whole lot more preparation that they need to do. I'm pretty excited for all of them. I think we're going to have a pretty exciting meet.
We're not just happy anymore to be at this meet. It's to go there and score and to move up in the standings. So I think because of that experience, even if somebody hadn't been there, some of these first-timers like a Byron Butler is a senior. So he has felt that. He knows. They're not just going there to sew a patch on their jacket. They're going there to score.
Well, I feel like last year, we made another step forward, and I feel like this year it's just another goal to keep moving up the rankings and the national rankings. And I feel like it is, it's a goal of ours to move up, and we just are going to try and score as many points as we can. It is a fast meet, but who knows, if we swim our best, we can move right up.
Yeah, we want to keep moving up, clearly, and but that takes coming back at night and scoring. So, yeah, obviously that's our goal every year, to move up. We want to be much better than the 26th even position that we were last year. But again, it just takes individuals to score. You've got to be back in these scoring opportunities. So, yeah, it would mean a lot, but really in the big picture, we want to leapfrog even past that. So it's just a continuing development of the program.
As we look ahead at this week on Iowa, swimming action runs Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the IU Natatorium in Indianapolis. 9th-rated men's gymnastics closes out its regular season with Senior Day as the number 15 University of Illinois Chicago Flames come to Carver Hawkeye Arena for a 5 p.m. battle on Saturday. Iowa softball is coming off a very disappointing weekend as the Minnesota Golden Gophers swept Iowa to Open Conference play. Marla Looper's squad looks to bounce back at home against Wisconsin. This series was originally scheduled for Madison, but has been moved southwest to Coralville due to poor field conditions in Madison. The Badgers come to Iowa City at the top of the Big Ten with an overall record of 25-3 going into Tuesday. Iowa baseball team finally gets to play some games at Duane Banks Field. Wednesday's game against Creighton was canceled due to field conditions. The Hawkeyes, however, will host the Indiana Hoosiers Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Iowa City. A night game Friday followed by a pair of day games. The Hoosiers lead the Big Ten and have an overall record of 18-3 going into Tuesday. Iowa will also host the Leathernecks of Western Illinois Tuesday at 6:35. Women's golf takes on the field in the Challenge at Onion Creek Monday and Tuesday in Austin, Texas. Men's golf travels to the Bay Area this weekend. Iowa participates in the U.S. Intercollegiate in Palo Alto. Also in Palo Alto, track is at the Stanford Invite Friday and Saturday. Men's tennis will host a pair of home meets. Penn State comes to Iowa City Friday at 2 p.m. 5th-ranked Ohio State is in town Sunday morning at 11. The Hawkeyes also will travel to Nebraska next Wednesday. Women's tennis has the opposite slate of the men. The women are at Penn State Friday and at Ohio State Sunday. The women's rowing team is scheduled to take on Michigan State and Notre Dame in East Lansing, Michigan. And as mentioned earlier, the men's basketball team heads to Madison Square Garden in the NIT semifinals, where they will face the Maryland Terrapins Tuesday night on ESPN2. As is always the case this time of year with outdoor events, be sure to visit HawkeyeSports.com for up-to-date schedule information. I'm Nick Dorman. Thank you for watching the Hawkeye Sports Report.